Alrighty, hello everyone. I am back again, this time with a guest, Tim Talks Talkies. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Tim.
Hello. I'm terrible at the intro part. I feel like people know me or they don't, but I'm Tim. I love movies, yay movies. I don't know. I'm terrible at the whole intro thing. I really am.
It's funny because I know some people love it. Like Ken's really good at it. He's got his thing.
Yeah.
Derek has his thing. He's perfect at it.
He's good at it too. Yeah. There's some
Yep.
people that they have it down. I do not. I don't know what I want to say or how I want to put myself out there. I just like to talk movies. I'm not good at the whole promo for myself thing.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Derek's intros on his videos are next level hilarious. Like he deserves to be in a comedy show. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
am.
very funny.
Yes, Derek is hilarious. So, but yeah, I just wanted to come on here. I reached out to Tim last week. I know he's a big Kino Lorber fan, as you guys know.
Yes.
Film Detective, Warner Archive Collection. Y'all eliminated all of his labels in this boutique label tournament. But I wanted to go ahead and let him kind of talk about Kino Lorber, let you know if you got it right or wrong. We're going to talk about some of the issues that Scream Factory and Shout Factory have been having. And yeah, we're just going to kind of go ahead and touch on it here. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, Tim, why don't you go ahead and tell them first off, did they get it right with Kino Lorber versus Scream Factory?
My opinion, no, not at all. It's gonna come across like snobbish, I guess, but like I very much so believe Kino as a label does most of the stuff better than Scream. There are things Scream does better, but as a whole, and this is even taking out the movies they release, like the movies themselves, but just better pricing. Overall, Kino is cheaper. Kino releases more titles, like significantly more. So I actually looked for the heck of it. Scream in 2022, 37 titles up to now for all of 2022. Kino, 140 titles for 2022 as of now.
I didn't know
And
you. That's awesome stat. Thanks for looking that up, Tim.
no problem. And what's crazy is it's not even like Kino is just like pumping out crap or anything like that. They're pumping out a lot of stuff that hasn't hit Blu-ray before, like a lot of
Right.
30s and 40s movies that have never seen Blu-ray, which that's again something else I feel they do better. They do tons of
Is this
stuff.
has this ever been on Blu-ray, or was that a first time as well?
I think that has.
Okay, but
But
the Ants trilogy that they did, the Insect trilogy, Ants
yes,
and all those first time
they
Blu-rays.
yes, that well that's another thing. They dive into TV movies way more than Scream. Scream does mostly like theatrical movies for the most part, but both Kino and Arrow will dive into TV movies a lot, and I love that because TV movies get basically forgotten.
Oh yeah.
So,
In
yeah,
that
Kino,
Ants, Spider, the trilogy that they did, and then they had
Tarantula,
that Tarantulas, and they
yep,
did the octopus one or whatever that was. So they've done a lot of those. It comes with slipcover, nice slipcover artwork. I really
yep,
like the artwork on it. And then I think Ants or a couple of those might have had like two different options for reversible artwork. So
yeah,
you're getting like two different options. You can flip it over twice if you want. So you get a lot of like and Kino's never Ken has talked about this, but like there's no rhyme or reason behind if they do a slip cover or
yeah,
if they do reversible artwork. But it's kind of
yeah,
cool. I like that. It's like Criterion in a way. There's no sometimes digipack, sometimes digibook, sometimes slip cover, sometimes, but there's always a booklet with Criterion.
yeah, yeah. I love everything about what Kino does for the most part. They offer sales unlike anyone else. No one else touches their sales.
Yeah.
They're absolutely incredible.
Double
This is
features for $4.99 during their sales,
yeah,
like
yeah.
250 a
They're
Blu-ray basically.
oh my god, I've loaded up on their sales so much. Like
Hmm.
they kill it. And then like Shout will have titles for like 50, 12, $15, which is fine. But when you go on Kino and you get titles for $4.99, it's like Kino crushes it. Shouts are they're fine. I've gotten some decent price stuff for them,
I did like
but
this last Shout Select sale that they ran because it was 50% off, and I'm trying to collect the whole Shout Select label. which
Yeah.
is like up to 138 titles or so now. I would love to collect every Kino title, but they got what, 6,000 or so?
Oh, it has to be something insane. I didn't look at the total because, like I said, it's 140 titles just for this year.
This year.
But they did a ton of DVD before they even dived into Blu-ray as hard. So there's a lot. There's a lot. But like I said, they don't. It's not even like they're just releasing crap though. And something else, like some people will say, Scream does special features better, and I would argue they're pretty similar. The collector's editions for Scream offer great special features, no doubt about that. But then again, so do the special features on some of the more deluxe Kino titles. Like this thing is absolutely loaded with special features. I mean, absolutely stacked. Or you have something like this, which includes 2 movies as special features. There's 3 total movies in this set. Like,
That's the They Call Me Mr. Tibbs
yeah,
and
the organization.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't get, I don't think Scream has ever even done that. Release advertising as 1 title, but giving you 3.
And that's not the first time that's happened with Kino. They've done it a few times.
But then I even pulled out so a Kino title and a Scream Factory. Both of these are they're not collector's edition. They're just par for the course ones. And both of them, the special features are pretty dang similar. They're almost nothing, but it's not like Scream did any better then. So like this, Dead of Winter has an interview, a theatrical trailer, TV spots, and a photo gallery. This has a commentary, an interview, and a theatrical trailer. They're pretty par for the course. When it's not a collector's edition, it's not like Scream knocks it out of the park on special features. So there's a bunch of different points where it's like, I feel like Kino kind of does better.
There's a lot of times where, let's see here. So I know this, and I want to talk about this too, and your thoughts on this. So take New Year's Evil, for example, here. This was a Scream Factory release that was out of print, and I really like this artwork. And then you get the original theatrical artwork right here.
Yeah.
That was on the Scream Factory release, actually. There was no slipcover with Scream Factory. But my question to you is, how do you feel about Kino doing all of these? Luckily, it's not from their own catalog. But how do you feel about Kino doing their like Blu-rays for out of print stuff from Scream Factory or say Criterion? I personally love that. I love that. If we missed out on something from another label, we get another chance to get it from another label. And not only that, if you're a completist or anything like that, a lot of times the price will drop on that other one. So you can go and get that one for maybe a lot cheaper now that another company's releasing it. So it's no longer technically out of print.
Yeah, no, I like that. I kind of like when the companies kind of, I don't know, take the rights from each other and try to do more elaborate versions. I like that even more than it's going to just feel like I'm poking at Scream, but Scream right now keeps releasing their same movies that they've released over and over again. I looked up, over 20 of the 4K titles are re-releases of past Blu-rays.
Yeah, I've made a list. You got Child's Play, Army of Darkness, The Fog. That Evil Dead is a nice one. I'm glad with that. That's a first-time release from them, and it hasn't been on Blu-ray since like 2013, I believe.
And give them more stuff like this. Like didn't have a release, like stuff like this is cool. Instead of like, I'm excited for Army of Darkness, of course, but they just keep regurgitating the same titles over and over again instead of giving us different stuff. Like I don't know.
That was only on DVD, and that DVD was out of print. It's like 2003 it got released, or 2 or 3 or 4.
And I think I don't know for sure. I think people said Alligator 2 was only VHS or something like that before it came to Blu-ray.
I've heard that a couple times. I've never quite experienced it myself, but I've seen that before, and I've heard people talk about that. So I agree with you, man. Luckily this month, and people made such a big deal out of it because, like you're saying, it doesn't happen often. But what's that Wolves movie that they just announced on 4K?
For Scream Factory?
Scream Factory just announced something. The Wolves. I'd have to look.
The Cemetery. Something Cemetery, right? I'm not sure of the title.
I don't think that's it. Hold on, I'll
No.
look here in a second. But okay, so they announced. Let's see here. I go to Dawn of the Discs here. I could go to Scream Factory as well. But let's see. It was called The Company of Wolves.
Oh, Company of Wolves. Okay. For some reason, I thought Cemetery was in my.
I
I don't
think
know.
that's
Okay.
another one that has only been on DVD. So
Yeah.
there you go. But like you said, much like Blue Underground, I get so upset with them as well because they have like 15 or 16 or 17 4Ks and not one of them have been a brand new. Each one has been in their catalog from their Blu-ray
Yeah.
catalog. Now people love
It's
their transfers. I'm not saying Scream Factory, Blue Underground, they don't have good transfers, Kino Lorber, but we want stuff that's new. At least give us new artwork.
yeah. It's just kind of boring to like. Their Blu-rays are already pretty great transfers, so it's like for the most part. So when you just see the 4K of a title that you already have in your collection that you already spent 20 some dollars on, it's just I don't know. I want new titles. So
Yeah.
I would like maybe I heard I think it was Born to Be Rad saying maybe like give us a re-release, give us something new. Give us a re-release, give us something new. Like maybe even keep it 50-50, but they can't even keep 50-50 right now.
I love Garrett's page. He does
Oh
like
yeah.
I was gonna say that earlier, and not to get off topic. I warned you. But man, the community is incredible, dude. Like, I know I don't know if this is the right word to say, but like, I feel like I've made like I call you a good friend, and I
Yeah.
know it's just Instagram and we've never met in person, but like, I look at people like Garrett and Ken, and like they've become just good friends. Like I talk to them more than I talk to most people in my life. Sometimes, like yourself and Derek, I talk to every day. So I love the Instagram movie community and YouTube. It's an incredible community. I'm in love with the people in the community, their channels, the content they put out, original stuff, things like that. So
Oh,
yeah.
by far. I don't know about you. I actually maybe because I came from Instagram first. Instagram I think of as like my main platform, if you know what I mean. And then YouTube is the side thing versus YouTube as the main and Instagram the side. Like some people have the Instagram just to promote the YouTube, but I just generally enjoy my Instagram. I love talking to people on there. Like I kind of think of that as like my main platform, and then I just
I
also
started I started with Instagram, a movie page about 4 years ago. I was on it for about 2 years. I went through some stuff, a bad breakup, and I was like, I've got to take some time aside. I felt like I was getting that pressure of buying everything from seeing other people. I was like, I'm going to take a break, a step back. I did, and fell in love with collecting again on my own without worrying about. I missed out on a lot of titles because I didn't see everything that was coming out. But yeah, now I'm back, and I started in April, and I didn't start YouTube until after that. And I love Instagram. I'm on it so often. I love YouTube as well. I've been on it a lot more, creating new content. But yeah, Instagram for sure. I don't have Twitter. I don't do TikTok.
no, no.
Um,
I
don't
have a
know if I'll
TikTok.
ever
I've
get
done like
into it.
3 videos.
I have a hard time going on TikTok, man. I just
Yeah.
I see some of these like, and I don't know. I just not. I'm not Gen Z. I can't get into the dancing on a camera and stuff like that. I can't do it. But I know that some people like, what is it, Steelbook collector? What is
Steelbook
I don't.
obsessed.
Yeah, he has 50,000
Yeah.
TikTok followers or something like that. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know you
That's
get.
it.
Yeah.
Just
I mean, and I was telling you before the stream started here, YouTube, I mean, you have to be so creative too nowadays because you never want to copy somebody's idea and you want to create your own original idea. And I'm always like, it's funny. I was telling a friend recently, ever since getting started on YouTube, man, I should be more focused on my career. And I feel like if I put as much effort as I do onto YouTube and Instagram and watching movies, I would be so much more successful in my career. I'm not unhappy with where I'm at, but it's like I put so much time into it. And so I never realized until I started a YouTube channel that it takes a lot of time even thinking of content to put
it,
out.
it does, and it's hard to balance that. Like I don't know how Ken releases a video every day and does Married with Media, but like I want to balance
He's got two
doing.
kids and a wife and a
Yeah,
job. Like
no
it's
idea how he does it, but but I as much as like I love doing this stuff, I don't want to make videos about movies but not watch movies. So I also have to fit in movies and television shows and stuff too. Like my whole day can't be thinking about and doing YouTube, because then what am I doing YouTube for if I'm not actually, watching this stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to somehow balance that between work, free time doing this stuff, and also actually watching your collection.
And streams and stuff like that. I
Oh,
mean,
and
if you're not even in a stream, you're just in the chat. That's 2 hours. Like last night, I watched Ken's stream. I was on there for 2 hours. I'm not complaining. I chose to do that. And, but like that's 2 hours I could have watched a movie too. So it's definitely that finding that balance. I mean, I was in Pop's movie dungeon stream. It was 5.5 hours. I was in it for the whole time, all 5.5 hours. I was in yours to start the night. So it was like an hour in there. And then I was in Pop's for another 5 hours. So I was like 6.5 or 7 hours of streams that night. Now I was working, so it worked out. I wasn't doing anything anyways other than working. But still, it's like, you know what I mean? That's a lot of streaming and stuff. But it's enjoyable. I want to support the people. I mean, because that's something I really wanted to touch on here, and not to cut you off or anything, but the amount of support you show, and especially my channel, I'll just speak for myself. Like, it's unbelievable. Always tagging me on Instagram and putting my my stream out there every Monday night. Like, and then you got Ken, and some of these, like Ken's a bigger account, Tony. They're always willing to be in a live stream with you, no matter how small the account is. Help you grow. They're always going to share your content to help you grow. So like this movie community, and I know no community is perfect, but it is so supportive. I have met incredible people like yourself, people I would call great friends, people I hope to meet someday. I'm planning on doing like a road trip at some point to different states to visit different stores and potentially meet people, So yeah, I'm just super grateful, man. I just wanted to say thanks for being on here. Thanks for always having me in your streams. You're the first person's stream I was ever in. It was terrible. I had my phone. Nobody could hear me, but now I've never used the phone again since then. I'll have to put headphones in if I do that again and try it. But yeah, I just wanted to say thanks, man, and appreciate you being on here as well.
No problem, man. I love having different people on the channel. And I just love meeting new people. Like I said, I've met amazing people through this. You, like I said, Derek, Ken has been awesome to me. Like I said, Tony is, my God, that guy is so like gentle and awesome to everybody.
He is. And he's always commenting on people's posts, always replies every time. No matter if you say hi, he'll reply. Like, yes,
yeah,
I love
him. He is. I don't know how he keeps up with it. So one thing I'm got to get better at is the overall replying and everything. But like, so on Instagram, your notifications only last like so long before other notifications push stuff down. Mm-hmm. So I miss comments often, like very often. Like my page has, I don't know, 5,000 some followers. So like I get enough comments that it's some stuff I just don't end up replying to. YouTube side, I got to get better to responding to my own comments in time, because I put a video up and then I kind of just don't go back to the YouTube until I'm ready for another video, if that makes sense. I don't know. And even I watch most of my videos on my television. Like I prefer watching on my TV versus the phone. Like the phone is mainly for if I'm doing live streams to try to do the chat. But I love watching on my TV. So I watch so many videos on my TV, and I got to get my ass to the phone to comment afterward. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, like I'm watching people's videos, but they don't know I'm watching because I'm watching on my television.
And on YouTube as well. I don't know if like this is a struggle for me. If it's an hour-long video or so, I have no problems watching that. But I'll comment in the first 5 minutes, and then I'll want to comment again 20 minutes later, and then a half hour later, and again, because they'll touch on something else that I need to comment on. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I've seen that one. Or, oh, what were your thoughts here? Oh, I just bought that as well, or something like that. And because, you might want to comment 5 minutes in, and then at the end of the video, you might be like, I have 20 more things to ask him or talk about.
I just did that with Huck. He did a video for he went thrifting at like a flea market, and I responded to him about the one thing he got was so cool. And then I asked him a question that he touched on literally 2 minutes after I sent the response. So I had to respond again, like, oh, never mind, you already covered this.
Yeah. And I know
Huck's another awesome guy too.
It's tough too. Like last night, Garrett had talked about from Born to Be Red. He was like, I was gonna go live tonight, but I didn't quite have the energy. He gets up at 3:30 a.m. He works out, I'm pretty sure. He's got a job and he's doing streams. And then he like talk about a busy guy too, man. Garrett and Ken, like how they do it. I mean, you've got so many people. I have a lot of appreciation for the people and how hard they work, that they're able to focus on their job and put as much content out as well. Yeah, I mean, there's so many, I always get like worried because I'd love to like shout out everybody. Like you said, there's Huck. I mean, Sue, I finally did a live stream with her for the first time. And I know she does her Tuesday physical media, updates, things like that. You got Mel's channel out there. I love My Killer Podcast. She's got a great channel too. So, I mean, there's so many people, and I feel bad when I shout out 20 people and I'm like, I forgot somebody. I mean, it's one of those things. I just appreciate all of you. If you're watching this, I appreciate you watching. So, but
it's insane how great the community is, though. Like I'd say 99.9% of the people are awesome.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I mean, look at Pop stream. I mean, I know he was reading a lot of the chats, but like I love Pop speaking. Oh my God, he's one of my favorite channels to watch. I fucking love that guy. But it is so easy to just talk movies with your friends for 5 hours. Yeah. It's just, you get lost in that. And he's funny too. Like, I'll tell you what, Tony and Pops are sneaky funny. Like, you don't get that from them. You know what I mean? You don't see that from them initially, but if you watch their streams or anything like that, you're like, wait, this guy's funny. Like, holy cow, he's got some laughs in him, some jokes. So yeah. Pops got me a few zingers in his stream the other day. It was really funny.
Yeah.
So
Pops is an awesome guy. There's just there are so many, and even with Pops, like Brian is awesome. Brian goes, yeah, he's great. Johnny's Boutique podcast, like he's great. There's just that whole community, just everyone. They're all great. I love this so much.
Yeah, there's a one person I follow. He's one of my favorite channels, Slash and Captain. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but
I heard you mention. I never watched.
Yeah, I've mentioned him a few times because I love his channel, but he just posted, he's got a killer horror collection. I'd love to have him on I was trying to get him on, but he gets up goes to sleep early on Monday nights because he's got to get up early on Tuesdays as well. So it's hard to get everybody because there's so many people I wanted to have on. I'm dying to have Garrett or like do a conversation with him one day, but schedules is just tough. You're always working. And luckily for me, I make my own schedule, but even then I'm still busy. I come home and just to record a video and I'm back out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's tough. But did you want to kind of get into I got some talking points for you. I'm very hand gestury. I'm always like that. But yeah, I've got some things I wanted to ask you about. So if you don't mind if I shoot some questions off at you, and then you feel free to. Okay, so what did you think of that whole Grease on the Child's Play stuff? Have you seen that before on your 4Ks?
Yeah, I have. It's an unfortunate, Shout put out a mentioning that it's off gassing, which is kind of a byproduct of it. I've seen it before in the past. It is kind of an unfortunate side effect. There's nothing malicious in not paying attention to that. That just does happen sometimes. And it didn't affect the playback on my copies. It's not like that for my Child's Plays really, but I have had it in past copies. That issue doesn't really concern me too much. That kind of is what it is, I guess. The manufacturing process.
I did an unboxing yesterday because I wanted to kind of touch on it. And who was it? Anthony's Horror posted, he's called it Cream Factory afterwards. So I thought it was pretty funny. You got Scheme Factory, is that Dead Pit calls them Scheme Factory, right? That was, I actually look, and if you're still watching this video, I'm not a Scream Factory like defender here. Okay. That's not when I'm sitting here defending Scream Factory. That one didn't bother me that much. Mine wasn't bad, and it's something very simple, wipe it off. And I've seen it before on other things, and I've heard people talk about how Scream Factory is just the cult, like they're the target. People love to pick on them, but I have seen that one before. So I can't sit here and be like, yep, Scream Factory, you suck for that one. Like, no, can't do it. Let's see here. What did you think of that misspelling coin figuration?
that's a freaking joke. That is frankly unacceptable. I know you can print out new artwork, but all it takes is one person that their job is to proofread before you send this thing off to be mass printed. How do you do that? That bugs me so much because I even you probably saw from Paramount I got a domestic disturbance
Oh gosh,
and
the
or
pixelated.
disturb and the it's like fuzzy. The artwork is like pixelated and fuzzy. It's like they
Beverly
use
Hills Cops 2, Eddie Murphy looks terrible on the back of their 4K for
yeah
Beverly Hills Cop 2.
yeah
And that's
stuff like
terrible.
that. I find completely unacceptable. Uh, I shouldn't have to go print new artwork. I shouldn't have to reach out to the company for new artwork. It's unacceptable. Like all it takes is you have QC people for that purpose.
We're
Like
buying this product brand new. We should
yeah,
expect it's like when stuff comes damaged too. I know stuff happens in shipping, but like if you ship better, and I'll get into that with Scream Factory, and it's not just them, but like the shipping on some of these companies is unbelievable. Would you and I'm about to go into some more things like the insurance that Scream Factory is charging now. I've never heard of that with another company. It's like it's almost like they're saying, "Here, send out the damaged products to the people who don't pay for the insurance." And because they can't do anything about it. We're not going to send them out another one they didn't pay for the insurance. Now, when I've recently paid for this Shout Select sale, I didn't even get an option to choose insurance or not. It just charged me $5.97 or something like that for insurance. I don't know if it's based on how many movies you have, but I was like, because I looked and I was like, what the fuck? They're charging me $6 for this? That's ridiculous to me, dude.
yeah,
Come on. You're going to charge somebody for shipping probably because they know they ship like shit.
yeah. So actually, speaking on that, you might even bring this up, but because they charge shipping, so you know how a lot of people love Scream Factory's free posters, right?
Yeah, if you anytime I paid over 50, I get free shipping on Shout
All right.
Factory.
Well, so here's the thing. If you're buying, say, you're going for one title, because to me, you shouldn't have to specifically bundle stuff just to get the shipping. So, say I wanted Evil Dead 2013, the 4K. I just want that. I want it with that free poster. If you go to Shout Factory, you order it in Pennsylvania because of the PA tax. I'm going to pay $45.14 to get that shipped to me with the poster. That's not a free poster. So I know people could like to consider the free poster. That's not free. I can go on Amazon and pay $29 to get the same 4K shipped to me. So it's 15 extra dollars to get it from Shout. It's not a free poster. If you're paying an upcharged price on the Blu-ray to cover the free poster, it's not free. The poster
Oh,
is costing you about $15.
I get what you're saying.
Frankly, I don't think they're that great of quality. They're about like worth a $10-15 poster. They're about the posters that you would see
Well,
at a
that's
Target or
another
Walmart.
thing we could discuss. Garrett talked about this on his channel. His posters came damaged. He
Yeah,
talks about now. I don't know because I'm not super into posters, but you are a poster guy, right? So
yeah,
you're
oh
a
yeah,
big
God,
poster
yeah,
guy. Garrett's a big poster guy. I don't have posters hung up, but when I move, I'm gonna get into posters, buy some frames, things like that, and hang them. Now, I'm sure it's not the end of the world because maybe you won't see it when it's framed. But from what I've heard, and Garrett talked about this, in those little, what are they? What do you call them? The little tubes that they come in.
yeah.
Um, he's talked about, I think, putting bubble wrap or something at the bottom of it so that they're not slamming on the edges. Or somebody had talked
Yeah.
about it, and then somebody had told me that wouldn't work because then it might even do more damage. I'm not sure, but my point is their posters are coming damaged, and people have had to call about their posters.
Yeah, I've only gotten one poster from them so far because looks I think their posters are actually kind of trash. It's crappy like paper stock. They're not high quality. Like you can like the artwork, but the actual quality of the poster is not that good. It's the equivalent of a Walmart or Target poster. That's what they are. They're worth the $10 to $15 that you're upcharge paying on it. But anyways, the one I got was unfurled inside the tube. Like they didn't what you're supposed to do when you ship a print or a poster is roll it up and then make sure that the print is taped around, not on it itself, but you like roll it up in craft paper and then you tape that so that it's not unfurling inside the tube, because you damage it when you take it outside of the tube because it's all unrolled inside, if you got what I mean. Like it's pressed up against the sides.
So
And
you
then
probably understood what Garrett was saying then when he was complaining about his posters.
I didn't watch that video, but yeah, he would know. He buys the same stuff I do. He knows how posters are supposed to come, just like I do. The one I got from Scream was shipped like crap, so I don't doubt that they ship all their posters like that. It's crummy shipping. They're not a company that specializes in posters. They're crappy paper stock that will damage easily. I wouldn't doubt a lot of them come damaged.
Now, Garrett's, you've seen obviously videos, he's been in streams. The posters he has, I think he has Child's Play 2 behind him and a couple others. Are those original sheets?
Original
7x40?
one sheets.
Yep. Wow, that's nice. And those you're saying those are a lot nicer than the crap that Screen Factory's putting out.
Oh, good Lord, yes. So it's still thinner paper stock than, say, like the Mondo posters I buy, which come on almost cardboard-like paper. It's hard to describe. It's just much thicker paper stock. But yeah, even the one sheets is a little bit thicker paper stock than the Scream Factory ones. Like the one I got, I bought Cursed straight from them to get the poster to see what all the hype on the free posters. And it's crap. It's super thin paper stock. I mean, I swear they bought some of the cheapest, thinnest paper you can buy to save $1. It's crap.
I wanted to say because so let's see. Back in the day, I think I had bought Piranha Steelbook the Piranha Steelbook from them, and I got the poster, and I think I got Vampires potentially through them. I think that was about it. I'd only ordered those through them, and I've ordered during their sales and stuff like that from them. But as far as pre-orders go, the last time I did a pre-order was that Child's Play 3 set, and I got the big bundle, the $230 one or whatever that I'm costing after tax. The only reason I did that is because I love Child's Play, and I actually was interested in the pins, and I really wanted that NECA figure. I don't have any NECA figures, so I thought that was really cool. So I chose to get that. But even then, like when I got it in the mail, I totally forgot about the NECA figure, and I was like, this was not a good deal. Luckily, I'm going to get a NECA figure later on. But even then, you've talked about earlier in this video, their prices, that the pins, if you look at it, it's like $30. You get a poster, and I think the pins, and it bumps it up to almost $120. It's like an extra $90 or something. I guess it's like on their website, it's like $37.99 because you get the poster, like you said, which is upcharging because if you go through Amazon or Best Buy, it's like $27.99, I believe. So you're paying $37.99 through their website. If you add the pins, I think that's all you end up getting. It's at like sometimes an extra $60, $70, I believe.
Yeah,
I might be exaggerating. It might be 50.
They do not cost that much to make.
Hell no, they don't cost that much to make. Any idiot can tell you that as well. Come on. It's like, now I thought the pins were cool. I would actually like to get a shadow, what do you call it? A shadow case?
Yeah, shadow box. Yep.
Shadow box, and put those in there, the Child's Play ones, because I thought it was really cool. You get the picture with it and everything like that. And a friend was like, because I've never ordered the pins before. She's like, what are you doing? Don't take those out of you leave them in there and then get a shadow box and put them in a shadow box. I was like, oh, okay, that's what you do. So I feel like an idiot, but I could tell you, like, and I don't know much about pins or anything like that. Those do not cost $50 to make and publish to them or anything like that. So their prices are ridiculous.
I haven't pulled the trigger on pins yet. I did when Army of Darkness went up. I tried taking advantage of their misprice.
I'm going to talk about that. So let's go ahead and dive into that one. What were your thoughts on that? I already kind of talked to you about it, but go ahead and give anybody that doesn't already know your feelings on that, go ahead and talk about it. And I'll give my opinion too.
I don't remember the exact prices they put up now. I forgot, but it was significant. Like they put the whole package deal for way less. And me and a bunch of people jumped on it because why wouldn't you? I paid with PayPal. It confirmed. It went through. They realized their mistake. They canceled everyone's orders and offered almost nothing.
$5.
Yeah, $5. I feel like customer respect is worth a little bit more. Like, I get they're a business and I don't want them to, they didn't necessarily have to give for that sale price, but I felt like it should have been a little bit more for $5 because I've personally ordered from other places that have screwed up massively on their price and they honored it because reputation is worth something. Some companies think taking the hit there is worth the customer reputation, the loyalty. Scream doesn't think that. So Scream doesn't really show that they really care about the customer like at all. Because even
I agree.
This is actually a point that I've never had this happen with any other label. None. I was missing the 4K. Completely missing the 4K disc was not in here.
You ordered from Scream Factory?
Best Buy. But
okay.
Regardless, though, I got it right at release. There was no 4K disc inside this. A ton of people had the same problem with different. Oh God, this was like a big thing with these. Pops was missing. I don't remember if it was this title, but one of the Halloweens, he was missing a disc, and he had to do like a swap with someone that got the other disc he needed because they massively screwed up. They were double.
Why I tell people not to interrupt. I apologize, but this is why I don't understand. I get the point of it but I don't like to keep stuff in shrink wrap. For one, I don't buy to keep in shrink wrap, but I want to watch it. Now, I have friends who keep it in shrink wrap. I understand, it's going to, if it goes out of print, it's worth more money if they're not planning on watching it. But if you have, say, it's a steel book, a scratch or a dent, and you don't open it and say you do all of a sudden a year later, you're SOL. It's out of print. You're not going to be able to return it. It's open now. In like this case, let's say you opened that Halloween and 2 years later, and either two things, it's now out of print, or you can't get your replacement copy because it's 2 years later you finally opened it. That's why I'm sitting here, I'm an advocate in opening what you buy, because if you have an issue, you can get it within 2 weeks, usually is the case with most companies, or 90 days or something like that. But if you don't open that shrink wrap and say you do want to watch it 3 years later, or you go to sell it, that person's going to be pissed off that buys it from you and is missing a disc.
What's funny is, I reached out to Scream actually with mine. They wouldn't handle it because I bought it from Best Buy. Their answer was just return it to Best Buy. So, I thought that was a wonderful customer service. Wonderful.
Well, the whole email that the widespread message that they sent out basically was wipe off the oil.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. You and I have said it's not a big deal. We can wipe it off. It's really not that big of a deal, but that's probably not the best thing to respond with. Just wipe it off. It's just gassing, whatever, outgas or whatever you said. And it's like, you probably send a better email. We apologize. We'll make sure this doesn't happen again and explain the situation. Don't just say wipe it off.
Yeah. Their PR, just the way they handle a lot of stuff, kind of sucks. Seriously. So, do you remember when this went up, when this was announced and when this went up?
I didn't buy it right away. I probably got it like 2 weeks later at Best Buy, or 3 or 4 weeks later.
So when this was announced, I remember being like stoked when it was announced, but the run that they announced was actually way less. I don't remember the exact numbers, but they announced this will be a run of X amount. They sold through pre-order so quick, they actually then upped the amount like significantly because they kept selling more.
And that's still in print.
Yeah, it's still in print. But it's something like that is, why would you? So this is Jason, one of the biggest characters out there. Why would you release something saying, hey, buy this set, this is limited to this amount, people buy it, they then go, no, it's not limited to that amount, it's actually now going to be significantly higher? Same thing just happened with Universal with that Jurassic World set with the statue inside. You saw that? That thing was originally limited to something like 1,000. When I pre-ordered initially, it was something like 1,000. They bumped it up to 5,300.
Did you cancel yours?
Oh, I canceled it because the statue honestly looks like crap.
Because I heard the statue looked like crap, so a couple
horrible.
people posted it. Did Tony return his or keep his?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question.
He had posted about it on Instagram, and it looked pretty bad.
It did not look worth, considering I already have the movies. I would be paying fully for that statue, and that statue is not worth $180 or whatever total. Like, no, not at all. But
speaking of statue, I love looking at the back of your glass case there. Some of the
that's the, because I'm like really into this stuff. When I see like that statue from Universal was kind of half-assed. If I didn't collect statues at all, like that might actually look pretty good to me. You got what I'm saying? But because kind of like with the posters, because that's a big hobby to me, I'm more like invested in that hobby. So something like that doesn't look as good because I know other companies that can release like that right there was only like just above 200, and that thing is so much higher quality than the $180 Jurassic World statue. You know what I mean? Like it's made of that's actually made of like polystone, which is more expensive than that the other things like PVC. I could get in a whole thing with that.
Did you ever get the Terminator endoskeleton thing that was like 189 at release? Big statue type of thing. Was his arm.
I had it pre-ordered and I didn't have money at the time and I missed it.
Now it's like 500 minimum probably.
That's a regret. I guess if I knew it would just basically evaporate, I would have made the money happen somehow. But I didn't have 180 at the time.
That's a thing. I'd love to dive deep into a conversation on it. Maybe not right now on here, but so many people see you buying stuff like me, right? I get big hauls and I post it on YouTube and things like that. People just assume what you got behind you and things like that. Everybody's, he's a drug dealer. He's loaded with money. He's whatever, he's loaded with money. It's like, no, that's not always the case. For one, we got paying for out there, which really helps for stuff like this. But there's so many times and I get this assumption that I'm like loaded with money. For one, no, like I am working on getting my own place. So I'm cooling down now on releases, but like I miss out on so much because I don't have the money for it. I make sure I budget. Tuesdays are easy because I could budget it. I know what's coming out. I'm like, okay, I'm getting this. And then even then I cancel some stuff because I'm like, I'm not paying $40 for this. That's going to go on sale in a couple weeks or Black Friday's around the corner. So I've been getting a lot more strict on Tuesdays as well. But yeah, I'm not like sitting here loaded with money. There's a lot of movies I still miss out on because look, there's so much that comes out. We can't afford to keep buying everything that comes out. It's so difficult. People have mortgages, kids to feed, and things like that. Wife, family. So I'm lucky. I don't have a wife or kids, so it's very easy for me to just kind of collect. That's why I'm able to afford what I am. But if I had kids or a wife, oh my God, I'd be buying like 2 movies a week. That's it.
I'm lucky so my wife is like just as into this stuff. My biggest problem is because I have really like 4 main hobbies, I have to kind of juggle the money between those hobbies. Like, even though I have a movie room, people would think that my primary focus every week is the movies. And it's not actually, because the screen print posters, if they're gone, if I want it, and I miss it, I'll pay way more. So those are first focus. If I see a print I want, that comes before a movie because I don't want to miss that print. Whereas I could get the movie the next week pretty much easily. And then vinyl, pretty similar. If there's a vinyl I really want and I think it's going to sell out, I got to make that a priority over most of the movies. So I buy a lot of movies, but I got other hobbies that kind of take precedence with the money depending on what's coming out.
Yeah. Oh, it's difficult. Like I think it's just an assumption you see on Instagram or YouTube. It's so easy, but nobody's going to post on YouTube and be like, so I'm broke. Well, some people might, but be like, so I'm broke. I couldn't buy. Like, no, I don't want people to know my personal issues in my life. I'm not making it. Nobody wants to hear about that anyways on YouTube. You know what I mean? Oh, I couldn't afford a
Yeah.
mortgage payment or whatever. It's like, no, nobody's sitting here being like, yeah, so this is how I paid for it, paying for it. Like, you know, but I feel like what you see on YouTube is not what you're always getting behind a screen. You know what I mean? Like the person's got a life too, you know, they might be busting their ass. Like me, I work all the time because I know how much I love movies. And if I'm not working and making money, I cannot buy the stuff that's behind me. So, you know,
Yeah.
what you see, it's like, yeah, but I bust my ass, you know, to get these movies. So sometimes working, you know, 10, 15-hour days, you know, and taking a day off on Mondays or working a half day so I could do YouTube videos and things like that. So, yeah. But let's keep going here, if you don't mind. So let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I wanted to touch on this a little bit. The lazy packaging and shipping. So my Child's Play came in this wide box to fit the posters and no bubble wrap, no packing peanuts, nothing around these 3 Child's Play 4Ks. Now they came fine, loose disc on the one. I guess everybody's been having that issue on their Child's Play 1. Very sensitive, clipping it in. But so you got these posters, this tube sitting on this box, and who knows how much these are shuffling around. The movies are sliding up and down on the way to the post office in the truck and things like that. But yeah, you've got this tube probably slamming down and who knows what on your movies. I mean, I don't know. They came fine, but my point is it's not the first time. I've had one Blu-ray come because it came with a poster. I didn't even know it was coming with a poster. It was during a sale. But it came, one Blu-ray came with this poster in a giant box. It's sliding around and it came damaged. And it's like that. I don't know. Maybe you have an opinion on how to ship with if you ship it individually or how you're going to ship it with the poster, but at least do bubble wrap or something because I don't like that at all. They're not the only company. I'm not calling them directly out. Okay. Arrow Video does not ship the greatest either. And I love Arrow Video. Okay. But they do not ship the greatest. Kino comes in a box. Okay. Doesn't come in packing peanuts, but it's a tight box. I've never had it shifting around during the sale. I'm going to go ahead and say Synapse Films, in my opinion, comes the absolute greatest shipping. They did bubble wrap on each steel book and then put a fragile sticker on the box. And it was a tight box, so it couldn't shift around. And that's Synapse Films. I feel like these bigger companies, they're just like, here you go, ship it out. We don't care. Like Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, Target. But I'd love to hear your opinion on that.
So the movie, yeah, they have to find some way to secure it in. I would think there would be some type of way you can make like cardboard clips inside the big box where essentially you can kind of like put the movie in and it would hold it so they don't even have to do packing stuff. Do you know what I mean? You can make cardboard boxes that do all types of stuff. So I would think in that big box they should be able to have some type of like clips in that hold it. But as for the tube bouncing around shouldn't matter if the poster inside is properly packed. That's the key because posters, when they're just shipped in tubes, they go through the mail system as a tube. And those things, people like to think things are all gently handled. They're not. That shit is thrown around and falling off shelves in the truck, and it gets beat up.
Aren't you in that line of work?
Yeah, I am. So I see that stuff. Yeah, I see it firsthand. I mean, I could say right now, as much as I don't know if people realize what the insides of those trucks look like, but your packages are not secured on shelves. There's no way to secure them. So you hit potholes and things like that. Packages fall off shelves. I know it's always considered the driver's fault because the driver apparently does everything, but there's nothing to do in that situation. The way the trucks are set up, packages fall off shelves. So
you showed a picture of the truck after one stop before, and everything was on the ground.
Yeah, but people always love to blame the driver though, because the driver is the person they see. So it's obviously the driver's fault because, I drove to freaking Connecticut to pick up the package to take it to you in Pennsylvania. I'm the only one that handled it. But that's just a rant on people not understanding the logistics of
Yeah.
shipping. But yeah, anyways, the tube should be fine if the poster inside is packed properly. Their problem is they're not packing the poster inside the tube properly. But to do that, they would have to spend more money on supplies and more time to actually properly do it. When instead they're probably just quickly hand rolling the paper and just shove it in a tube, and that's it. So it's fully on them, but they need to spend more money on supplies and more time to do it. They're not going to do that. What's the incentive? It's a free poster, remember? Why should they spend more on free?
I know these people, like, we all get it on our YouTube channel. I mean, everybody tries to tell you what you can or can't buy, but there's a lot of people that'll tell you, why are you only complaining? Or like they'll rip Ken for his last video. Pops did a video on this issue, like, and now we are. And there was another guy that recently did an issue, talked about it. I don't know his name. It was the first time I'd come across his channel, but he talked about how he's done collecting from Screen Factory. And a lot of people will tell me either stop collecting. That's the only way things are going to get done. Here's the thing I have to say about that. Okay. Let's say that Child's Play 2 and 3, and you are a slipcover just nerd, whatever. You love your slipcovers. They're only guarantee those for 90 days. Sometimes not even that, I feel like. And not only that, but like if you want these things, you sometimes have to jump on it day 1, day 2, whatever, first week. Sometimes it doesn't even get to day 1. Take a lot of steelbooks at Best Buy and don't even make it on the shelf. Spider-Man Homecoming, or Far From Home, was it, or whatever it was called? But yeah. No Way Home, I think. Anyways, I don't know the title.
It's all the same.
Yeah. So, but you like, people are like, why did you buy? Why are you supporting this company? Because if I don't, I miss out. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I want a copy of it. Yes, I want it to come in better shape. Am I upset? Yes, but I'm upset with Screen Factory and all their issues. But like Pop said, I keep buying their stuff. I love Screen Factory. I'm still a fan of them. Okay, I'm sitting here saying that, but I'm sick of the issues. And it's in it, as a person who's paying top-notch dollar, I expect better service. That's all I'm saying. I just think these are, and they're simple issues, the coin figuration. And that thing, I don't know, what is up with people on eBay? Explain this one to me. People are selling that coin figuration, the mess up, for like $50, $60 because it's so rare now. And that's
trying to take advantage of suckers that will buy it.
Yeah, I mean, like, sorry, no, I'm good. I don't need because it's out of print and it's a mess up. Like, people love selling mess ups online for so much, and people buy it. I don't understand. It's a rare piece to have, but I can't do that. Let's see here. What did you think? Well, we already talked about the misprint of the Army of Darkness. What did you think of the Red Dawn Dolby? Now, this is Shout Factory, but along the same umbrella here.
Same company.
Yeah. What did you think of Red Dawn showing Dolby Atmos, was it, and not having it?
I mean, that falls in similar with the coin figuration on there. There has to be a person that QC checks everything on the slipcover, the actual insert. Like, someone has to have that job, right? You would think there's someone that their job literally is quality control and double check stuff before you sign off on it. It's a tiny little logo, but it just kind of falls into Screen Factory just kind of half-assing stuff. They make a lot of silly mistakes. Most of their mistakes aren't like the end of the world. Missing a disc really pissed me off, but
that's unacceptable, though. That's not acceptable.
Yeah.
But, and I don't know if they're the ones who put the disc in there or if, how that works, but that's unacceptable. Whoever did that, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Loose discs, I also don't think should ever be shipped out. If you know your disc is loose, do not ship that. Open it up, re-shrink wrap it. I don't know what to tell you, but do not ship loose discs out to people. That pisses us off. When I get that Spider-Man, whichever, the newest one, we pre-ordered it, my buddy Mike and I, both of ours had a loose disc. Both.
Yeah.
And it's out of print. The lady's like, well, what do you want me to do? I was like, well, I know that it might work, but understand, like, it is out of print. So she picks up the steelbook, and you're going to love this one. She picks up the steelbook, and she goes, yeah, here's what the post office starts doing with it. She starts tossing my steelbook on her hands. She dropped it on the counter. And she was like, that's exactly what happens at the post office. She said, that's exactly what she said. Playing catch with my steel book in her hands. And I looked at her and I looked over at my buddy and I was just like, be glad that was my steel book and not yours. But I picked it up and sure enough, like it was off-centered after that because it was dropped on the corner of it. And you know how these steel books sometimes they don't quite clip correctly and stuff like that. So yeah, I was so upset. I was like, I wish I never came in because I was just trying to get a different disc just in case that one didn't work. And these 4K discs, when they are loose, I've heard they're very sensitive.
Yeah.
So
even on the, not to spend too long on the Best Buy thing, but a funny little story. Best Buy had the Your Name Steelbook out a few days early. So we take it to the counter, like, oh, cool, we're gonna pick this up. Their register doesn't let you buy it early. Okay,
I remember
whatever.
you talking about this one, yeah.
So yeah, the girl's holding it, and she then whips it behind her into a pile against the wall. And it's just like, are you kidding me? You just took a steel book and just whipped it back. They're literally the entire purpose of the steel book it's the collectability. No one would buy them if it wasn't the collectability aspect. We'd just buy the standard releases. So why the hell are you whipping it back? You're an exclusive retailer of this steel book.
Yeah, no, it drives me crazy. And when she dropped it, her employee, who was like clearly pretty new there, and I get it, he's just defending her, but I was upset and I was pissed, right? Like she just dropped my steelbook that is out of print. Now it's back in stock, you know, with Amazon doing the re-release or whatever. But I was like, she really just like fucking dropped my steelbook like that on the counter and then made no big deal about it. And he's like, he says to me, and this guy pissed me off when he said this. He's like, yeah, but you just said it was damaged. I was like, no, the steel book was fine. The disc was loose. And he's like, what's the difference? I was like,
oh
you know
my
what?
God.
I can't even like with you, you know, like you guys just non-collectors don't understand these things though. And I get it from like somebody who doesn't collect. They probably think we're insane, but like understand this is our hobby and we're paying money, and me and you are not the only ones. People watching this are also those people, you know. We just expect better. Like we are buying stuff brand new, we want better.
Well, so I brought it up in that I had like a rant video essentially about Best Buy and their whole pre-ordering because dealing with steelbooks, but they are the exclusive retailer for a good chunk of these US steelbooks, like a massive chunk of them. They're exclusive to Best Buy. How the hell is there not at least some type of recognition or training on the fact that, hey, we are the only people that supply this. People buy this from us because it's collectible. Handle this correctly. Do not cut the boxes open where you spine slash all of them. Like, just handle these properly.
Oh my God,
If Best Buy
spine
does
slash.
not want to handle it properly, then don't be the exclusive retailer. Like,
Spine slashes are, and they happen on slip covers too.
yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, no, that drives me crazy. Let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna touch on you know, don't want to keep you all night here. I know, like that's the thing, I could talk for 5 hours with you. But let's see here. My order for so that Shout Select order just finally shipped today. It's been about 13 or 14 days. Now I know it was during their sale, but I've never had an issue with Shout Factory not shipping my stuff immediately before, even during sales. And I don't know, maybe this Shout Select sale they were running was a huge one, but come on, it's 14 days. Like, and isn't
That's a
that
lot
the
of
point
time.
of being a large company? You're supposed to have people on this. Like, get my shit shipped out. I remember going home one day and I was like, I'm hoping it came in the mail. Finally, it was like 11 days later. And then I went on there and it said order taken. And I was like, it still hasn't shipped. What the hell? So that's one of my complaints right now with them. Here's another one, the Child's Play 4K. It just came with that original artwork. They're not original artwork. It came with the Blu-ray artwork that they had. Same artwork. But then they did the Child's Play 2 and 3. And here's the thing that drives me crazy. Anybody has been talking about this, and it's not always the case, obviously. Look at Dog Soldiers. That did not come with the theatrical artwork. That is new artwork with no reversible artwork, though. So everybody that says to me, Well, their 4Ks are all that are re-releases are all coming with the original theatrical artwork. No, that's not the case. Dog Soldiers didn't, and now this Child's Play was the Blu-ray art. And yeah, the reversible artwork is the original theatrical art, but it would have been nice to match all these, Child's Play 2 and 3. It's just like so that drove me crazy. I feel like that's lazy.
So to quickly touch on the artwork, and this is 100% could be a me thing. So if people like this, that's fine. I like variation in artwork. I love a lot of because I collect these screen prints. I like a lot of different artists. I love how Criterion has tons of different art styles. All their releases can look completely different than each other. I'm not a fan of using the same artist for so much. He's a great artist, no knock on the artist. But these three movies are so different in tone, but they all utilize the same art style and it comes across very samey. And I'm not as much of a fan of that. Like, it's great art, but I wish they utilized more artists and kind of made more different styles that they utilized to.
Who's the artist that did the Halloween 1 through 5? He's done like 100. I went on his Instagram page. He's done like 100 or something slipcovers for Scream Factory. He has done a ton of their work. And he did the newest ones, but I do like that Valentine slipcover.
It's nice. It's all of these artwork. They're good artwork. I'm not knocking the artwork at all. I'm knocking the fact that Scream Factory just kind of keeps releasing the same art style. Whereas like I could pull out a bunch of Criterion that have completely different art styles. Like, I love that you don't know what the cover of a Criterion will look like. They do not have set artists. They don't have set art styles. They do stuff that is for that specific movie. Like, they'll create something that matches that movie. Whereas Scream isn't creating stuff that matches that movie. They're just utilizing the same artist to create the same style across the board. I'm not crazy on that. I want more variation in my art.
Now, what did you think? I have a buddy, Ben, under like Blue Terror, I believe, or Rebel Heart on Instagram. He's got 2 pages. But he hates, like, for the most part, I'm pretty sure he hates Scream Factory's reversible art, like their slip covers. He does not like it. And he thought that Alligator looked really cheap. What did you think of the Alligator slip cover?
I'm okay with it. I don't think it's like the best thing in the world, but I think it's fine.
Yeah, it didn't bother me. I love my buddy Ben, but I disagree with him. I really like Scream Factory's artwork that they do. Some of it, not all of it. I thought the vampires looked pretty cool. I thought Valentine was cool. Let's see here. Yes, I was going to touch on the charging an extra $1 for 50 pins, but we already touched on that. So you're about to show off a Criterion.
Yeah, because I want to just completely different styles. Like that's
I need to see that smooth. Is that Smooth Talk, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
I need to see that. It pisses me off because I had like,
and also just different art style. That's what I mean. All of these completely different like look and feel. Yeah. That's kind of what I mean.
I need that Smooth Talk. I missed out on it during the Criterion sale. I'll get it in November. But yeah, anybody watching this, I waited until the last day to do the Criterion sale, and I waited until it was 11 p.m. So it was like 12 a.m. Eastern time, and they put the prices back to normal. So don't wait until 11 p.m. They'll put the prices back. So as soon as 12 a.m. Eastern time hits, let's see here. I want to talk about. So I've already kind of touched on Kino Lorber does the reversible artwork sometimes. Pull out a couple Kino titles for me if you got their 4Ks by you at all. So show those spines. Well, I could show these two right here. Oh. So as you can see, and we could put it close together here. But yeah, so there we go. So his, like, you could see it's got the KL at the top, MGM at the bottom, but those are all the 4Ks. Yeah, they're the black spine with the different coloring. The color title color on it, and the KL at the top. I love their continuity and consistency with their spines, and I just think it looks gorgeous on the shelf.
And I personally, I love that they keep this style for just the actual Blu-ray case for almost all their stuff. I love that. Like a shelf of Kino looks awesome.
Yeah, I see the white right there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What
love
is
that
his name? Serial at Midnight. Do you subscribe to his channel?
Yeah.
He's got the massive Kino shelf behind him, and you could tell it's Kino because it's all matching.
Yeah, it's a distinct style they went for, and
When
I
did
love it. But they at least do different stuff for the artwork on the fronts, and I love that. But
Kino
the spines,
kind of blows my mind because like last year, nobody talked about Kino Lorber. I feel like they were a relatively pretty quiet company, and now they're one of the companies that everybody labels, that everybody talks about. I mean, they're just they have no rhyme or rhythm to when they announce stuff. Like Arrow Videos the last Friday of every month. Screen Factory is usually the first week, which gets leaked, by Dawn of the Discs before.
yeah,
But like Kino Lorber, it's just like, yeah, here's another one, here's another,
yeah,
here's another. I
yeah.
mean, like you said, it's over 140 titles, and we're what 7 months in, 8 months in. So,
And
yeah,
what I love too is they have no niche, and I love that. They literally will cover every single genre from every single decade. They're releasing a 4K for Tropic Thunder, but then they
mhm.
also have The Great Escape in 4K. Like there's no they don't pigeonhole themselves into one thing. I love that about them. You can find all different types of movies under the Kino Lorber
Is
label,
there
but the same with
any?
Scream.
Is there anything you would like to see in particular through the Paramount deal? I know, what is the one, Summer Vacation, the one with um, John Candy, Summer Rental.
Summer Rental. Yeah, I
Yeah,
actually put up a video. I don't remember
yep.
everything I
I
put.
watched your video. Yep,
Yeah, I would love Summer Rental, and I feel like Summer Rental is going to eventually come. If it doesn't
to
come
Blu-ray,
from,
right? Yeah.
yeah, if it doesn't come from the Kino deal, Paramount themselves might do it, but
Because
I
they're
think it's
really good about now. I know you said they took a 10-year hiatus, basically, but they're releasing. Now I know this isn't related to Kino Lorber. This is Mill Creek, but one of the Blu-rays that I cannot wait to get. I need to do a review on my channel of it, and I never do that. But The Cure from Mill Creek with the retro VHS slipcover. Have you seen The Cure?
no.
Are you going to be getting that one? I mean, it's only $11.99 or whatever.
Yeah, I get a decent amount of Mill Creek. I love Mill Creek.
Yeah.
They never get talk, but like
Did you hear what
they,
Derek said about them?
no,
What did
I
he?
had to, yeah.
You gotta
But
watch the round one battle with Derek, but he said Mill Creek's like that little kid on the playground everybody feels bad for, but nobody likes to play with or whatever. I think he said something like that. You got to ask Derek. He's got to trademark that quote. But it was hilarious because I was like, "Whoa, I like Mill Creek." But this Cure movie, it's about a kid who has AIDS, and like he befriends the neighbor, and they try to get him like a cure, and that's why it's called The Cure. But the movie is so good, and the mother is incredible in it. You've got to see The Cure.
is that the one with what's his name from Jurassic Park? I can't think of the kid that played Tim.
Jonathan Mazaru, or
Yeah,
I think his last. Yeah,
Yep.
I might be off on that, but yeah, I think that's it. And then Mother, I can't remember, but both performances. You've got to watch that. If you watch that, maybe we should do a review talking about that one on the channel. But I love The Cure, man. Remember watching it as a kid, but
yeah, I think I remember you saying you were really excited for it. So I never
yeah,
heard of it before, but like I said, I enjoy Mill
they
Creek.
got
They're
4 coming out on that day. Replacement Killers,
that's a good
Paper.
Replacement Killers is a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Paper, I think, is another one, and then something else. I think Shadows or something. Shadow something. I don't know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I've really enjoyed doing this boutique label series because I feel like I've learned a lot about labels, but I think a lot of people watching have been like, "Wow, I've never knew that this company put this out, or I've never even heard of this label before," or something like that. I really need to start getting a piece of paper when I'm watching live streams or doing them and start writing titles down because or going back or something like that. There are so many things that get mentioned. I mean, your Rotten Tomatoes, you know what I mean? And yeah, I just need to write these things down.
Yeah.
There's so much that gets mentioned for sure. Let's see here. Okay, this is one thing I wanted to ask you about. What is up with Amazon? How do you order your Kino stuff? Because what is up with Amazon never having Kino stuff on time? I mean, sometimes a month later.
I definitely did. So this is one thing. I'm not like going to pretend that Kino does everything perfect. Something in their chain of supply must be off, because they even don't supply a ton to like Best Buy in them too. Like Best Buy will sell out really quickly of a lot of titles and won't replace them for quite a long time. I don't know Kino must be make sure they supply themselves first, but I don't think they make enough titles for everybody across the board. Because yeah,
No, I agree. I mean,
I,
shoot, I'm waiting. Sometimes I think I waited almost 6 weeks for, was it Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind? I waited 6 weeks for Eastern Promises from Amazon.
yeah,
So
I don't. That's something Kino really needs to improve on. Their supply chain is
when you
not great.
pre-order through Kino, how do they charge? And because do you ever get it if you go through Kino instead? I feel like you get it a lot earlier. Some
Oh,
people get it
way
on
way
time.
earlier. Kino makes sure they supply themselves first, because I
Yeah.
did pre-order some like one set of stuff from Kino, and it came like right at release. So
How do
they
they charge? Because Amazon charges you. I always get billed Sunday nights for pre-order from Amazon. I already know it's going to come out usually Monday at like 12:30 a.m. But how does it, like Best Buy, they charge you, then put it back on your card, then charge you again? I hate that shit.
I do most of my stuff in like I do bulk purchases and do a pay in four. That's how I do it. So I'm
Okay,
paying
so
on it like right away. But
yeah. I did a pay in four for pre-orders on Zavi, and they didn't start it for like 6 or 7 or 8 weeks, and then the order disappeared on my pay in four.
yeah, so you can't use Zip instead.
I
Zavi
use
does Zip.
yes,
Yeah,
Zavi
Zip
and Zip. Yeah,
Zip
because I did
Zip
the PayPal
will
one.
yeah, Zip will start taking it now, but PayPal doesn't take it until the
They
retailer
ship.
will start processing. And Zavi doesn't start processing until it comes out. So you got to use Zip if it's a pre-order.
I was talking to somebody recently, and he named 3 other pay in four labels. I was like, "Don't start! Don't even tell me."
Oh,
I was like, I don't need to know anymore. I only know
yeah,
of Zip and PayPal.
Sezzle. That's another one I use.
I think he mentioned Sezzle. Yeah. Are they like, because Zip's good. Now, the only thing I don't like about Zip is they charge a $3 or $4 fee usually. I don't know if it ever goes more than that. PayPal doesn't charge, they don't charge late fees either. But yeah, I've never heard of any of the other ones. But like Zip is legit. They're good, they're
Yeah,
reliable. I have no issues. Obviously, PayPal, we already know what we're getting with them. But how is Sezzle?
Sezzle's great. I haven't had a problem with Sezzle. I mean, it's the same. I feel like at this point they're all the same exact thing. They're just
Yeah.
different retailers doing the same exact thing. But I like it. I've used Sezzle on Zavi before too.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, if you run out of your spending power on Zip and you do on PayPal, and just keep going. I mean, I don't know. I mean, who knows? But yeah, I mean, on Black Friday, I'm sure people could do that pretty quickly, right? Rack up a tab.
Oh God, I don't even know. I don't know what my PayPal allows right now. My PayPal, I think I have like 12 going at the time at right now, like 12
I
paying
had
fours.
I had 21 paying fours during the Target sale. Target that MVD, Vinegar Syndrome, Severin. I had 21. I know. I think I had like 17 on paying four, and then I had PayPal, and then I had 4 on Zip. It was
Yeah.
crazy. I was like, and then I got bit in the ass like every 2 weeks because it was all coming out the same day. I was like, I just got hit with 5 on Zip, and it was like $400 the other day. And I was like, yeah, it's they you got to be careful because they add up
It's
real quick, and if you do it on the same day, there's no remorse. There's you're getting billed, so you got to be
yeah,
ready. So,
but I do love those services. Yeah, as long as you don't go too crazy, they've made purchasing so much easier. Like it's something about I could buy it all now for 200, but paying 50 bi-weekly just feels better.
and Sezzle's easy to use, like because Zip. I could use it on pretty much anything because they just give me a debit card to spend with. Basically, they pay with their own debit card or whatever. You know, you put in a copy and paste the card number in, and then they pay for it, and you get charged.
Yeah, Sezzle is only like certain retailers.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so like Zavi is one of the retailers, but yeah, they're not with everyone. So just if you happen to see in checkout, you see Sezzle, and then it works the same.
I order through Grindhouse videos so much, so I like that PayPal and Zip have been great for those, for that. Best Buy, all that stuff. Yeah. Was there anything? That's kind of all I got on my notes, but I know you had a little bit of some talking points. Did you want to touch on anything?
Well, I feel like we covered most, so I wanted to mention that Kino and Scream. I felt like Kino had more 4Ks. They're actually about the same on 4K releases. 32 Scream Factory ones versus 30 Kino 4Ks. They're
Scream
like,
Factory's got 32 4Ks.
Well, that's counting like up to Piranha that's announced.
Okay, let me see here because I'm gonna see if I got. Yeah, I've got like 31 written down here.
Yeah, so that, like I said, that's counting up to Piranha.
Yeah, and then Kino Lorber. Oh gosh, I got like
30.
I've got like 60 written down because of like rumors that are gonna eventually, I think.
Oh
happen.
yeah, good. Yeah. I'm counting like the actual, like this is what's released or on the calendar.
We're up to 30-ish.
Yeah, they're up to 30.
Wow. So I'm thinking to myself, what is this one? I'm gonna have to get back to you now. I'm gonna have to figure out if I'm missing one of these Scream Factory 4Ks. But I feel like I've written them all down, but I might be missing one. You said 30, 32?
32 Scream. Yeah, if I counted correctly, I could actually send you a link that it's actually the entire list of everything Scream is released, and then in gray is if it's a UHD. So I basically just counted all the gray spots.
I don't think that rollerball is going to come with the slip. No, because it's not a collector's edition, and on the picture, it sure did look like the Piranha and the Company of Wolves definitely had slip covers on it in the pictures, and it sure did not look like used cars. Was that what it's called, used cars or something like that?
Yeah.
It sure didn't look like that, or the rollerball is going to come with a slip, but neither one of those are collector's editions, so I don't know. The Shout Select line is weird because their collector's editions sometimes don't even come with slip covers, and it's interesting that whole
Shout in general is kind of weird with that stuff. But
for somebody who loves slip covers like me and OCD and a lot of collectors, not just me and Pops, but yeah, we want our slip covers, especially when you got numbered spines and some have them and some don't. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah. One of the last things I wanted to mention, just because I'm a classics fan, which is part of the reason I love Kino also, because Kino is just amazing with classics. But like I talked about releasing first time to Blu-ray, like this is such a cool set. It came out this year. This is 7 movies. All 7 are first time to Blu-ray. Like, you don't get. Oh yeah, it's a. They're kind of cheesy 50s movies. But it's got Donald O'Connor from Singing in the Rain, and he's been in a bunch of other stuff. But they're silly, cheesy 50s movies, but I enjoy this type of stuff. And all 7 of these are first time to Blu-ray. Like, you don't get something like that from like most of these labels. Like, they took the time to give restorations to 7 almost forgotten movies to put them out in a collection. Like, stuff like that is cool, because how many people honestly bought this? But Kino still took the time to make a nice slip with a nice, several disc set with 7 movies. Like, that's cool. I love that Kino does stuff like this. You don't get stuff like that from Scream or some of the other labels.
I think Scream Factory, people just love them because they're horror based as well, and people are obsessed with horror. I mean, look at the way this boutique tournament has turned out too. Maybe it's the way I set it up, but like Vestron made it pretty far, a lot farther than I thought they would, and they're really pretty much horror based. And then we're looking at Arrow, Scream Factory, Second Sight, and Criterion. So like, people love their horror based stuff. I hope this boutique label tournament, I hope people felt like I set it up evenly. I tried to like put basically like a real tournament, like 1 versus 16 seeds. So that's why I put, in my opinion, like Full Moon Features at the lowest end, because I figure they're not, you know. So I did, what I didn't want to do was have Scream Factory and Arrow in the same conference or battle each other in round one, because that's just not fun, because then all of a sudden you're eliminating one of the big labels. So I tried to make it fair like that. Hopefully I did. Hopefully people thought it was fair. Now, one thing I wanted to kind of touch on, because I wanted to share my thoughts on where I would rank Kino and Scream Factory. For me, I love Arrow Video. They're always going to be number one for me. I love Second Sight and Synapse 2 and 3. I would honestly put Scream Factory and Kino as my 4 and 5 possibly. I also like MVD Rewind Collection, and I really like Mill Creek, but there's so many fucking good labels out there, Tim. So many good labels.
So
and they all do different things, and you know, no company's perfect. It's hard to please everybody. That's not going to happen. You got me complaining, somebody else, you know, you're not going to please everybody. But I think ultimately a lot of these companies do good work. I think Scream Factory has just been having a lot of issues. I know that people love to target them, but the issues are undeniable. They're there, and you can't deny that. And it's not one. We touched on like what, 8 or 9 problems. So
yeah.
I as somebody who loves Arrow Video, they've had disc issues, but they send out replacements. The Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer and what was the 12 Monkeys, but people already got their disc replacements. And I don't know, half the times I wouldn't even notice these disc issues. I didn't even touch on the Craft issue with the Scream Factory. You remember that one with their 4K? It was like DVD quality or something.
Yeah. Scream Factory just, I don't know. They need to button it up. They would. I don't know where they would rank for me, but they're definitely not at the top. They're not at the bottom either. I don't hate them.
And I'll keep, like, to anybody who's sitting here and being like, well, Tim, Bob, why do you support them and buy their stuff, but you're ripping on them? Well, for one, I touched on it earlier. Fear of missing out is part of it. They're not gonna hold sympathy for me or Tim complaining, or anybody else for that matter. If it's out of print, it's out of print. That's it. And now we've missed out. You know what I mean? So despite some of the issues, I could look past them. They're not huge issues. Some of them are, and some of them are just stupid, like misspelling. That shouldn't happen. But ultimately, I'm still going to buy their product. But I do have the right, if I'm buying their product, to complain. Yeah. That's my opinion.
You're a paying consumer. Yeah, we have the right to complain about any of this stuff.
Yeah. So is there anything else you want to kind of touch on? Any questions for me or wanted to talk about before we wrap it up here?
Feel like we covered most stuff. I will actually say too. Again, I keep going back to Kino, but their box sets are insanely cheap. By the way, too, insanely cheap. This thing was like $24 for 3 movies.
Yeah, if you're watching this for the first time, I'm sorry, Tim touched on it earlier, but they're like, their sales, are those really cheap? Their film noir as well during sales, or no?
I didn't look at them during sales. This is like regular price is in the 20 range. Like,
yeah,
you go on Amazon and look at the film noirs right now.
That's a nice slip box right there too.
Yeah, they're nice.
Pretty sets. Hard. Is it pretty?
No, it's not. They're pretty soft.
Oh, okay. But, I like the artwork though.
20 some dollars. They've got they're up to 5 right now. I've only got 3, but
box sets.
Yeah,
the film noir. Is it all film noir?
Yeah, they have they just keep releasing new ones with 3 more movies.
Oh my god, I didn't get any of those, but now I'm gonna want them. No, it reminds me of let's see here. You got the Arrow Video put out those Giallo Essentials. You got the red, yellow, and black. Vinegar Syndrome has done their own. I think they've got like 4 of those box sets. Arrow Video has the Shaw Scope. Who is it that's doing those 4Ks? Is that Universal or somebody? The box sets of like Taxi Driver and A League of Their Own. So there's so many box sets out there and stuff like that.
Even Kino also does like specific actor ones too. So
Cary Grant. Jeez. Yeah, you know, we don't see these. I don't see these. You talk about these in your videos. Like, I didn't even know you had this stuff. I've seen the film noir stuff on Amazon, but I've not seen you talk about these before. It's crazy when you start to do like a a video or like you could actually see some people pull out some stuff and you're like, what? That's what I'm saying. I could write these down. I didn't even know those existed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did if Scream Factory versus if I had to vote, I'm gonna go Scream Factory. So I came here to allow Tim and I wanted to discuss the issues, but like I would still vote Scream Factory because ultimately I do still love them. I love horror, but Kino, that is such a hard vote for me because I love Kino Lorber stuff and I'm collecting all their 4Ks and I think they do good transfers and I like the artwork. I like that we get reversible artwork and they're putting out a lot of stuff. So that was a tough vote for me, but I did want to talk about, regardless, I wanted to talk about the issues and they're undeniable. And when voting, I think that was fair to think about that stuff. And I mean, it was a close vote. It was pretty close. I think it
Yeah.
was like
I mean,
60 to 40%. It wasn't that far off.
yeah. I will say, even if Kino won, though, I was realistically going to vote Criterion over Kino. Just Criterion they check every box imaginable. They do
Are you
everything.
surprised Criterion beat Shout or no?
No, not at all. Criterion is
It's
like
funny because in the live stream last week, all four of us voted Shout over Criterion, but that's just different strokes,
I,
different folks.
what does so if I think about all the check boxes, I feel like Criterion checks every type of box. Like every single one loaded with special features. They have some of the best transfers of Blu-rays out there. They are wonderfully packaged. Their box sets are some of the best box sets on the market. What do they not check? Do you know what I mean? I guess the
If
only
I'm
thing would be if the movies
if I've got
themselves.
one complaint that annoys me, now I'm never going to collect all of Criterion's label, but Troma has done this, and now Criterion. I know there's two different labels, of course, but when the numbered spines, I love numbered spines. Me and Pops love our numbered spines. I get so annoyed when some are on DVD though, because I'm not going to put DVDs with Blu-rays. At least a Blu-ray and a 4K, same size case, right?
Yeah.
But a DVD is a different case. So like, say you are collecting all Criterion, which I'm not because that's over 1,200 now. But the beginning, first 80 or so, some have been re-released on Blu-ray or 4K. But like The Rock and Armageddon, if you are a person who collects all their numbered spines, that would drive me crazy because you got these two, and I'm sure there's more that are only on DVD that aren't on Blu-ray.
It would, but I like that they didn't like restart though with Blu-ray, because say they do ever decide to touch Armageddon and The Rock, they just transfer over to Blu-ray with those same spine numbers.
Numbered, yeah.
So
Like
I like
Shout Select did that with Red Dawn, and Criterion does that obviously. And yeah. Okay, I got a question here. I gotta get out of here pretty soon, but Paramount Presents, would you rather have them re-release Fatal Attraction and Airplane and all those in the Paramount Presents line on 4K? Or do you like what they're doing it separately?
I'd say if it already has a Paramount Presents, just do a separate.
Yeah.
Because they even Days of Thunder, I bought them both because I'm collecting Paramount Presents, but I wanted the 4K for Days of Thunder, so I actually bought both copies.
You have all 33 Paramount Presents spines?
Close.
I hate one thing. I hate it's like crooked. Do you have one by you or no?
Yeah. Well, you mean like
the slip covers? Yeah. What is with? Well, yours doesn't look bad. See, I can't quite tell. Hold it up again.
You can shift it around a little bit.
Yeah, but it is it's shifted. They come like that. It's very interesting the way that what is that part of the fold open the way it is, or why is that? Because they all come like that.
Yeah, it could be that, but I don't know. They kind of look nice together though, like on the shelf.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, yeah, I got to put them. That's one thing I cannot wait to move and get my own. I'm going to be hopefully moving into. Everybody's like, why? My family's like, why are you getting a 2-bedroom apartment and it's just you? I'm like, 1 bedroom just for my movies. They're like, you're really going to waste extra money on a move? And I'm like, yes, like I'm out of space for one, but number two, I've also got other stuff that I need room for. You know what I mean? Like I have a ton of baseball, football, and basketball cards that I cannot wait to go through because I may sell them. I don't know. I've also got a lot of books that I don't read much anymore, but like I need the space.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I'm probably gonna, to be honest with you, I will run out of space immediately as soon as I move in, and then I will either have to start putting movies in the like living room area or my bedroom. And that's just, but I mean, it's just me. I don't have a wife telling me how to organize my place, so I'm gonna have to do it my own way.
I'll do whatever. I mean, right now my movie room is in what used to be the living room.
Yep.
It's my
Yeah.
house. I'll do whatever I want.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And it's more space in there. So yeah, it
Yeah.
works out perfectly. Well, if that's all for tonight, I'll kind of go ahead
Yeah.
and wrap it up. But honestly, Tim, I had a lot of fun talking about this. I knew we would talk about a lot of things other than, just Kino and Scream Factory. I really want to start kind of mixing things up. I've been trying to do more reviews. I've been trying to do, like, I reached out to a few people to start doing some reviews on my channel with different people. I am hoping to do a review on Massacre at Central High with Brian Goes Blue.
Nice.
Because he's seen that and I've seen it, but nobody else has. So I'm like, why don't we wait until they release the standard Blu-ray, and then maybe some people will finally see it and they'll actually watch it, because nobody wants to watch an hour-long spoiler review if you haven't seen the movie. Some people do. I don't. I'm not going to watch your video if it's spoilers and I haven't seen the movie. So but yeah, the Massacre at Central High from Synopsis Films. It's a Blu-ray, and it looks like a 4K. It looks like an 8K. I swear to God, it's just incredible transfer. Synopsis Films. Maybe I'm biased. Look, Arrow Video is my favorite, but nobody does transfers like Synopsis Films. I don't care Criterion, Kino, or anybody. Like, Synopsis is the best in the game when it comes to transfers. Have you watched some of their stuff?
Like one. I only have like 2 titles of theirs, I think.
I'm going to turn you into a fan yet. Don't worry about that, Tim.
Yeah, I don't know which ones. There's somewhere in that. This is like my other stuff, and there's somewhere in there.
I'll be honest with you. I feel like this is a no-brainer, but when I bought that Scream.
Oh, that's Synopsis. I do have that one.
Okay, running time. Nice.
Yeah. It's fine.
That's an older one, though. That's not like a brand new, like, their steel books look great. But when I watched the new Scream, 2022 Scream, and I put it in, the transfer, so I put the 4K in, and then it stopped working midway through, and I put the Blu-ray in, and I honestly thought the Blu-ray looked just as good, if not better. Maybe it was my TV, the setting I had it on, but in my opinion, nobody does it like boutique labels, and also older films just benefit the most from 4Ks. Shawshank Redemption, I recently watched that. I watched Green Mile just recently, and I was stunned by the picture quality. But then I watched something from 2018 or 2019. I'm like, okay, like, cool.
I mean, basically, if it was filmed with actual film, there's way more headway to look amazing. Like, if it's filmed digitally, the Blu-ray is going to look really good. Also, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, if that's all, I'll go ahead and kind of wrap it up here. Tim, I don't know if you wanted to, give a shout out or, anything like that, or, talk about your channel.
No, this was a really fun conversation, and hopefully I see Criterion overall win. That's what I'm going for now, of who's in.
Right. Yeah. Well, yep. You had you advocated for them, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, if you you're watching this still, what did you think of the video? You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on the issues with Scream Factory? Please leave a comment section below for Tim or I. Talk about it with us. And you can find Tim over at Tim Talks Talkies if you don't already know this, on Instagram. So DM him if you got any questions for him or anything like that. And great guy, like I said. But yeah, Tim, anytime you want to have me on your channel, I'm always up for it. And I hope to have you again very soon. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Alrighty. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks for watching.